So let's talk about something we all kind of assume. When you think of a tech engineer, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's someone hunched over a keyboard writing lines and lines of code, right? Well, today's story is going to challenge that exact image.
And that right there, that was the big shock at the center of this whole story. It's that moment of pure disbelief, realizing that the very foundation of a mission-critical system was being held up by someone who totally shattered the mold of what our narrator thought an engineer was supposed to be.
All right, to really get why this was such a mind-bending moment, we need to step inside this huge project. We're talking about a major Japanese financial institution, and the project they were running, it was an absolute beast.
Yeah, we're talking over 200 people on this team. Just try to imagine the pressure, the complexity of getting that many people all pointed in the same direction, working on one massive, high-stakes goal.
And what was that goal? Well, it was a gigantic technological leap. They were migrating a core system from COBOL, a really old-school programming language, all the way over to modern Java. This was basically dragging a foundational piece of their tech from the past into the present.
So our narrator jumps into this project, and their background is in programming. They were in charge of configuration management. You can kind of think of them as the master librarian for all the code, making sure every single change was tracked, every version was perfect. So you can see their entire world was built on logic, on code, on keeping things in order.
So in the middle of all this high-pressure work, our narrator is working side by side with the server engineers, the folks who make sure the whole platform is stable so the code can actually run. And then one day, a casual chat. Yeah, that's what changed everything.
So our narrator sees this one server engineer who just gets it. He understands all the super complex Java configurations inside and out. So they ask a question that seems totally logical. You must be an amazing programmer, right? I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
And then, boom, the answer that just completely broke their brain. Well, I actually can't program. Just let that sink in. The expert responsible for the system's foundation, the person making it all work, says he can't do the one thing our narrator thought defined every single engineer.
I mean, talk about a mental short circuit. Their mind just froze. For someone who saw the world through the lens of code, this was completely unthinkable. This one answer changed everything. If you want to see how this puzzle gets put back together, do me a favor and hit that like button and definitely subscribe for more deep dives like this. Card? Thumb?
But after that initial shock wore off, something clicked. It was this huge aha moment. It was like a door opened up to a completely different, but equally powerful way of thinking about how we build things with technology.
And this right here breaks it down perfectly. Our narrator's whole approach started from the abstract stuff, the moving things, code and logic. But the server engineer, he started from the ground up, from the foundation, the actual server architecture. Two totally different ways of starting, but both trying to get to the same finish line, a system that actually works.
And this is where we get this amazing analogy the server engineer came up with. He didn't see himself as a writer of code, but as a builder using digital Legos. He wasn't creating the instructions from scratch. He was expertly assembling all the individual pieces to build something incredible.
You can really see how it works here. It's not about writing one giant program, it's about building piece by piece. First, you lay down the server, then you pop in the middleware, hook up the network, and finally you fine-tune all the config files to make it all sing. Each piece is a block, carefully placed to build a stable world for the code to live in.
And this is the big realization, right? Creating isn't just about writing code. Not at all. Assembling and configuring and stabilizing a complex environment, that is its own powerful form of creation. It's like the difference between writing the words for a book and actually building the entire library to house it. You absolutely need both.
Okay, so what does this one story tell us about the bigger picture? About careers, about how teams should work? Well, it really shines a light on a fundamental truth about the world of technology.
The bottom line is there's no one right way to be an engineer. You can start from the abstract world of code, or you can start from the tangible world of infrastructure. No matter how you start, you're both supporting the same system, and both are creating immense critical value. And here's a thought that might flip your perspective. Maybe having all these different viewpoints isn't just a nice to have. Maybe it's the only way massive projects can ever succeed. You need the people who see the world from the logic down,
And you need the people who see it from the foundation up.
And this is so relevant right now, especially with everything going on with digital transformation, or DX. It's not just about what can you do anymore. The real question is, from what angle do you see the problem? And how do you create value from your unique spot?
So it totally reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? What started as a thought like, wow, he can't program, which sounds like a weakness, turned into a new understanding. Wow, he's mastered a completely different but just as important strength. This idea that every perspective adds something unique is so key. If this explainer helped you see your own skills a little differently, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown. RD, TJ, all day.
All right, so let's bring this all home. Let's turn this question back on you, because that's where this lesson really becomes powerful.
So I want you to think about this. From where do you understand the world? Do you come at things from the code, from the physical infrastructure? Maybe it's design. Or maybe for you, it's all about the people and how they interact with technology. What's your starting point?
Because at the end of the day, where you start from, that doesn't define your limits. What really matters is knowing what your unique viewpoint is, owning it, and then focusing on all the awesome value you can create from that special spot.